right. I'm just gonna assume we're live now. Just confirm to me if we are, Amy. Appreciate it. Hey guys, welcome back to another. This is a special episode of Talking Through the Medias. I'm gonna call this episode 162. I know we usually do this on a Wednesday, semi-Thursday, depending on if I'm hungover. But we wanted to get this one out of the way because I was so excited about the Disney Investors Day thing and everything that happened on it. I could not wait to talk about this stuff. It's going to be a lot of sweat happening here. Not only the geek sweats, I got the meat sweats because I just had a steak. I mean, it's going to be extremely nasty on my side of the screen. And joining me on that is now Amy. You're shaking your head. There's something.
Oh, I'm just so grateful that we're doing this through Zoom and not in person. I didn't realize what I was avoiding by not being there.
Oh yeah, it's very rank in the studio right now. How you doing tonight?
Doing good. I'd like to just clarify that I think it smells pretty good on my side of things, just if anyone was wondering.
And this episode of Talking Through the Medias is brought to you by Patty's Irish Pub.
It's not my fault you don't get that reference.
I don't know anything about that. South Philly, born and raised in the playground where you spend most of your days. I'm assuming it's the Fresh Prince.
You need to watch that damn show. It's really not my fault that you don't watch It's Always Sunny. It's been on for a million years and it's about to be a million more.
I mean, they were just renewed for another 20 seasons, so I mean.
Yeah, no, they're going straight through season is it 18, I want to say? It's fantastic. I'm very happy for them.
I mean, I'll just I'll take your word for it.
It's a stellar show. It's on Hulu, which you can now get in a bundle with Disney Plus and ESPN for only 18. I forget how much it was.
Yes.
I skimmed the press release.
What do you mean you skimmed? You're my go-to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia person. You're my person.
I was referring, I believe that was part of the announcement, part of the Disney announcement that they have new pricing for their Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN bundle.
Right.
Because Disney Plus is going up now a whole $1, which
leads us into exactly what we're going to be talking about. You know what? I'm glad that you brought that up, guys. Let's go back to what the show is supposed to be about, Disney Plus. And I don't know if you guys if you sat through and watched that whole thing like I did. I think I caught the whole damn show, and I usually don't watch live investors events or whatever those presentations are, because I find them very boring. But this was mostly going to be about Marvel stuff, Star Wars stuff, and I'm a Disney guy to the heart. I'm a Toys R Us kid, if you get that 80s reference. So I knew I wanted to sit through and watch that whole thing, and I have some notes that I'm going to talk about because I'm thrilled, whelmed, ever so pissed, and slightly ticked on some things, but overall, I'm pretty excited. Let's just put it like that. I'm just my fiance is gonna be real thrilled after this. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I'm just here to call her if Chris gets too worked up and needs to get taken off just forcibly removed from the live stream for his own health.
I mean, it's probably might be necessary. But real quick, guys, I'm not going to spend too much time on every little thing that they talked about, but I did jot it mostly down. Like little things like for Disney Plus Originals, we're going to be getting 10 new Marvel series. We're going to get 10 Star Wars series. We're going to get 15 Disney and Pixar series starting next year. There's going to be something new almost every week. When all is said and done, there's going to be premium program. There's going to be premium shows every week. It's going to be crossover. There's going to be a more than just the one thing that got us all hooked in the first place, The Mandalorian. So now it's going to be a whole library full of original content that I'm just too excited about. For example, and there's and a lot of things that are slated for Disney Plus that are still coming to theaters as well. the Raya and the Last Dragon. Did you ever see a trailer to that? Did you hear anything about that?
I've heard a little bit about it. It sounds cool.
Yeah.
I feel like, because I like Star Wars, I like Marvel, but for me it's the Disney stuff that does have me going, okay. Well, I feel like some cool original stuff and some cool rehashes of some of the cool, like, Princess and the Frog sort of Tiana spinoff, and the Baymax series. I'm very, very excited. You know, sort of some of those franchises where it's like, I don't think Big Hero 6 gets enough love.
It doesn't. And I'm really excited. I am so happy with that Tiana thing. Did they say that Tiana was going to be computer animated or 2D? Did
not catch that. Just caught that they were doing that. And a Moana spinoff series, I believe, as well, which is just great. Like, it's nice to see some of those franchises, because, like, I'll be blunt, I don't really like Frozen. I feel like I feel like sometimes
that's the last we were ever gonna see of. No, you didn't like Frozen?
I did not. I thought Frozen was fine. I think there were just better movies that have come out of Disney in the past decade that have been a little bit underrated. Things like Princess and the Frog, things like Big Hero 6, things like Tangled, that I just think were genuine. Tangled is what I wanted Frozen to be, just in terms of like quality and entertainment and memorability.
I was like, you mean profitable?
I still don't know what I watched.
Another thing that happened was they mentioned their expectations for like new subscribers, and they gave us a peek behind the curtain of what actually happened. So they were hoping to get a little bit more for Hulu and ESPN Plus, but they only missed their marks just by a sliver, and the mark that they hit for Disney Plus subscribers more than made up for it. So as of right now, Disney Plus is up to 86.8 million subs. Hulu has jumped up to 38.8 million subs, and ESPN Plus is at 11.5 million subs. So they're ahead of schedule as far as the total number, and that only can mean that I'm happy about that, because if things are eventually going to D2C, direct to consumer. That means that the quality of, if they're gonna be more willing to invest more money into the quality of the movies and the TV shows, which they're already doing a great job as well. But if more people are becoming subscribers to it, if we're rivaling Netflix, that means that the quality, the budget of these movies and shows won't be as bad as I expect it to be if it's not theater, if the theaters aren't in the mix. But so I was just happy about that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I feel like I've already heard friends voicing concerns of, I don't want this to be a step down from Mandalorian. I don't want it to be so many things that they're suffering. But you look at the quality of products something like Netflix is putting out consistently, of things that feel big budget and are big budget. And I think at the end of the day, the numbers do just add up that Disney can make this happen, especially focusing on streaming right now with the pandemic and theaters being up in the air, focusing on projects for streaming. I don't think it wouldn't make sense to just drop a bunch of stuff that no one was interested in.
Right.
And immediately everybody just went, don't waste your time.
On real quick to just some real quick stuff, guys. Like access to mature content now is good. There's going to be a setting in Disney Plus for mature content, because Disney now owns Stars, and you're going to have to put your password in. They're going to be confirming.
I thought that was where they kept the princess boobs.
The princess boobs. I was just getting there. Okay, spoiler, but now you made me lose my train of thought. Now I'm all about the princess boobs.
But most of them are like 14. So only like Elsa's definitely like 20.
Just gonna
don't leave me alone in my My shame.
So
my joke that I immediately wanted to bail on the second the words came out of my mouth.
Just zoomed right in on you. Patty's Irish Pub is the reason why comments like that are made. Now, because of the drinking. Never mind.
Right.
Not saying that you're drunk or anything like that.
I don't know. Honestly, bear with me on this thought real fast, and then I'll let you get back to I regret starting this sentence, but
it's good. You got to go for it now.
An R-rated Star Wars, though. Is that anything?
It hasn't been. They wanted Rogue One to be R-rated. The closest that they've gotten, I think, is Rogue One.
I'm just saying, let it be a little sexy.
The Revenge of the Sith was the first time a Star Wars movie was PG-13, and I think the rest have been PG-13 since, if I'm not mistaken.
Keep it sexy. Make it sexy.
Yeah, I mean, we know what you
want
to see.
Do it, you cowards.
So for all that stuff that Amy wants to see, you're gonna have to put in your password again for that kind of content on Disney Plus whenever you want to go to the Stars section, or maybe something that's more mature on Hulu or the Amy the tab.
My Star Wars fan fiction that I've hacked in and uploaded.
Chewbacca gazed into
I am grateful to hear that, because I feel like they weren't quite sure what to do. Even what was that, Splash? Where they had to really badly CGI her.
I never even watched that yet.
What?
I heard about. I haven't even watched it yet to confirm it.
It's very funny.
You can tell that's Pixar animation.
Oh my god! I will find the just photoshopping the lamp in was a weird choice over her
butt crack.
Ass crack, but here we are.
Well, if you like it, I love it. Yeah. So content like the Kingsman, Logan, the Wolverine movie that was rated R, Die Hard, TV show Atlanta, Homeland, Snowfall, for example, which is a show I love. Snowfall, and things like that. And then there's something called Stars Plus that's only outside the U.S., so I won't go too much into that. We
don't care. Figure it out.
Original TV shows like Only Murder in the Building, starring Martin Short and Steve Martin and Selena Gomez, I believe. I was like, what?
Yes, yeah.
I was like,
honestly, I'm a big Martin Short fan, so if he's working, I'm thrilled. I think he's an underrated gem.
If he's in it, it's all that you're all about that. The Dropout.
I mean, I'm not saying it'll be good. I'm just saying he's fun.
Yeah. It's only murders in the building. So I'm wondering, are they residents and they're the murderers? Is one of those three the murderers, or is it a building full of murderers? I don't get it. But
it's one of those combination of factors that makes me go, I have no idea what this is, but I'm intrigued to learn. But because
of the casting, yeah. The Dropout with Kate McKinney. Did you look up any of that?
No, I missed that one.
Something
I feel
called.
Like everyone's been so far. So these are Hulu series, right? That they've announced.
I think this is the Hulu part of it. Either that or it's on Stars. I want to say these might be Disney originals, but I have to double check real quick. Guys, correct me in the box and let me know were those Hulu or Disney. Something else called Dope Sick, starring Michael Keaton and Rosario Dawson. And another show called 9 Perfect Strangers. I want to say that's a spinoff of Perfect Strangers, that 80s sitcom that was the show that made Family Matters. Anyway, but speaking of Hulu, so now we're going to get into the real deep sweaty stuff, guys. And
let me knock my computer over.
Real quick.
Marvel.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and the Ahsoka Tano character that was recently introduced in the Mandalorian. A lot of these shows, now that I'm looking back at it, they were given this little brief introduction in another series to kind of test the audience, or actually kind of force feed us whether we loved it or not. They were like, yeah, this is happening. You better I hope you guys love it because there's a new series coming. So
it almost feels like there's just so much Star Wars now. I wonder if the goal is if there's any eye to like, if we get all these like different pieces of the universe, if there will be like some kind of Avengers style, like bringing it all together like 10 years from now.
Oh, you mean like in the movies, the way they've already been doing?
But like I
with
mean,
these
with
new
like
characters.
all these different pieces.
It's possible, but if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these are happening. A lot of these are happening in the same timeline. So you're right about that. And they did say specifically during the presentation that a lot of these were going to be crossing over. So
yeah.
So
no, it could just be interesting if they're introducing all these separate pieces and they're all successful enough. If that turned into like an end game situation of like a big payoff.
I don't know.
Big budget movie or something. It wouldn't shock me. It just feels like they're really, really investing in the Star Wars train right now. So
I'd be okay with that but I would be okay with that happening on a TV show level, but on the movie level, I wouldn't. Because to me, Star Wars doesn't need that. It's never needed that. But maybe. I think it just depends on how
if the money is there, they will probably try to.
But the money, well, that's a given. The money's always there. Even the worst Star Wars movies always brings in that cheddar. But that's just Star Wars, man. That's how it's always been.
And my bae, can we please just take a moment? I feel like there was more discussion of the Taika Waititi.
His Star Wars.
Taika Waititi.
Did they name the show that he was going to be working on?
I don't think so.
But they did confirm that.
So I don't think
they made a big deal about. They showed his image and everything, and we have Taika. So they were happy about that. So yeah, I thought about you when they showed that. I'm like, oh, Amy's gonna love this. How do you make Star Wars cooler? You just did. Taika Waititi. But speaking of like a Rogue One, like the gritty movie about the I mean, there's no way in the world that just because you have the evil empire on one side, that the rebels on the other side were all squeaky clean. And Rogue One showed us that there's, and this show is going to continue that, a show for this character called Andor, on what all the things that he had to do leading up to the Rogue One movie. So they pretty much let us know that it's going to be gritty. It might be your fan fiction right there that you were talking about. Might be a little rated, a little mature. Might have to put that password in, but this
little hair cover and the tush tush.
Exactly. The Burt Reynolds style poses and stuff.
I feel like they're just really eventually they're gonna just like be like, I imagine someone just like at Disney, like executive, like fast forwarding through old Star Wars movies eventually, and he just pauses like, that guy, he'll get a movie next. We gotta do something like some background actor, like give him a series.
Give him a haircut, give him a budget, and put him on a freaking set now. And we'll
give him a robot. It's fine. It'll be fine.
They better bring. Oh, that robot's coming back. Oh yeah. I can't wait to see it. But I'm just excited because if you, I don't know, but I know you probably haven't been keeping up with too much of the latest Mandalorian. But without giving a bunch away, the return of Bill Burr. I got to do probably a review for this one, just for the Bill Burr thing for this channel. But they kind of got into the whole politics of it. Like, you think just because you're fighting against the evil empire that you're all squeaky clean kind of argument.
That kind of politics. I got scared for a minute because I feel like
you thought Trump was going to make an appearance?
The prequel not that long ago, and I was like, this is just about the tax trade routes. Like, it made me so angry.
Yeah,
just how it was like the boring minute. I'm like, I don't care about these politics as they affect me in my real life.
Let's talk with the Senate.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I was so mad. I need to actually finish all the Star Wars movies and because it was my first time watching some of them. So
on this channel, at least. Okay. Well, that's just me begging for a first time watching kind of a.
I want to do like a ranking video, and I feel like it'll just make everyone real mad at me. I have some opinions.
Oh yeah, pretty much. But I'm excited about this show because it's going to get gritty. They're going to talk about all the the sketchy things that they had to do in the name of freedom and peace. So, also coming up next,
Full frontal nudity. They haven't promised it yet, but
stay tuned. But we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming out, and they confirmed that Hayden Christensen will be playing Darth Vader again. I also believe that they're going to take advantage of these two being on camera together again by doing a bunch of flashbacks when when they were still friends and brothers and whatnot. So I think that'll be if they do that, I really would love to see it, because Obi-Wan Kenobi isn't going to be like a full series thing. I think it's only be a mini series, only like a couple episodes and everything that was happening right before the first movie. So yeah, that'll be pretty interesting on that. So looking forward to seeing
good, more of the prequels.
Yeah,
maybe I'll learn more about the tariffs and the trade deals.
The Trade Federation, the Viceroy, the separatists, and the
literally that first scroll, I was just like, are you kidding me? This is what your movie's about?
We're learning about politics.
I hate
But speaking more about those,
like good guy, bad guy, that's all my brain wants. Like, make it easy.
Speaking about good guys and bad guys, we got the Bad Batch that's coming. That is
not what my brain read that as for a minute. I was like, dang, we are getting.
We getting raunchy. We got the Bad. You don't
like
you do it.
Star Wars.
Stop, George. I do declare. The House of Mouse can't have bad batches in here. That's a bad batch.
Hey, children.
I can see a bunch of brothers on the street just watching them walk by. Man, that's a bad batch. But no, Bad Batch is based on the cartoon, the Clone Wars. They had a group of stormtroopers, of clones that were considered a bad batch of clones because they were so different and odd and defective. One was like super muscular. Another one, they had all these separate like these skills. And I should have, when I saw this episode, I should have known they were setting us up for a whole spin-off series.
Yeah, that's super fun.
So it's just a bunch of clone troopers when the Republic was still, before they were the Empire, and they were good and they were fighting off, and I'm going to go into the politics again, fighting off the evil separatists. But they had a bunch of clones that were a bad batch of clones that did these extra missions, and now we're gonna see the bad. One of the clones looks like Rambo. It's crazy. He has the red bandana and the mullet hair and everything. It was kind of funny. But the Bad Batch coming. That's a bad batch. Like, But all right, getting away from all the little things, like there's a Sith TV show called The Acolyte. They're bringing back Willow, the original actors from Willow. It's coming back to a TV show. I don't know. Did you ever see Willow? It's an 80s movie. Lucas. It's almost like Lord of the Rings kind of a type of a movie, but.
I will say, what do you think is like the over under? I don't actually know how gambling works, so don't. But like, what are the
over
odds,
and under? What, 50%, 40%? Where's the number?
Sure. That people are going to get burnt out, because there's definitely projects that are like, oh, that sounds so cool. Oh, hell yeah, Obi-Wan. I feel like people have been asking for a really long time, and then they do start getting into stuff where it's like, this is gonna have to actually be good to appeal beyond like a pretty niche nerd subset. I don't know. I think it might be a little too much. And I know we're talking over the course of years, but like, people do get burnt out. Like, too much of a good thing, people do still get like, when especially with streaming, everybody's constantly like, I heard it's good, but there's just so much to watch, and I feel like some of these are not going to be hits, and I just wonder what sort of that ratio is, and at what point people would start going, I'm kind of over the whole Star Wars thing. I don't really need another one.
I mean, just like the whole argument about when is the end of the comic book movies being the dominant genre is going to end. Everybody predicted that every year that a new batch of comic book movies were about to come out was the last year that they would dominate the genre, and it's still the number one genre like 20 years later. So I don't think that right now we're getting, especially with the pandemic and forcing us to stay home and watch more TV than we used to.
It wasn't like this feels extreme, even, and because we're not talking like a handful of movies every summer. This is a lot of content.
It didn't burn people off from Netflix when they started making original content and whatnot. People just chose which ones they were okay with and which ones they didn't, but they still stayed subscribed.
A bunch of stuff about one thing. I don't know. I could be totally off base here. I could be totally like I might be basing this on like my own interest level in Star Wars, which is like, if it's good, I'll check it out and I'll probably enjoy it, but I will not like when you do start getting into like, so this is the Clone Wars, I'm like, haven't seen it. And in the Clone Wars, I'm like, you've lost me. So maybe I'm speaking from my own slightly biased, slightly less fandom-y.
I know I get what you're saying. For a person that's not and for the ones who are too invested in it, that group of fans that's called them.
They hate everything anyway.
The fandom
so
menace. Exactly.
They're
They're gonna pick apart what and hate on it no matter what. But so
who
far,
is it for then?
That group of people, they love the Mandalorian. They hate Kathleen Kennedy, the producer who brought all this stuff to us ever since Disney bought Lucas. They hate on her, but yet if it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have all these things that they love, like the Mandalorian. If it wasn't for her, it wouldn't be here. But Disney has, even though it looks like they're doing too much, like these 10 new shows. It's over a long. It's over a long period of time. Disney does need new original content, because otherwise people are going to start canceling their subscription, because I mean, the nostalgia of having the vault open and watching all the old classics is one thing, but
you're failing to account for how damaged my generation is, Chris. I feel like we could all just watch Hercules on repeat for the rest of our lives, and some part of our little anxiety-riddled brains would just be like, "Thank you, more, please."
It's
maybe
what
that's just me. Maybe
that's what got the first 50 million subscribers when it launched in, but it was the Mandalorian that brought in new people. There are people who are not fans of Star Wars who like the Mandalorian because it's got a Western kind of feel to it. Bill Burr hates Star Wars.
At the end of the day, you're not going to lose subscribers for a bad series. It's an interesting business model, because it's not like let's say, and I'm not saying it will, but let's say The Bad Batch sucks and no one watches it. No one's going to cancel their Disney subscription. Yeah, because it's a cartoon. It's not everybody's into cartoon. I'll give Disney this. For the theory that you're talking about, is oversaturated, they're picking the most interesting characters they're appeasing to that fandom menace who hates everything but seems to love what, like the Mandalorian, what they're doing so far. They're picking popular characters like that, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. They definitely wanted an Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and they're gonna get it. Well, and again, like I said, that is one thing I'm realizing as I talk. It's not like a movie where we put this budget, we need to make it back. I'm sure they are kind of basing this on, we know that this character is going to be the base of what we have coming in every month, and no one's going to unsubscribe if we make a bad thing. So as long as we're staying kind of within that budget and bringing in some new people consistently, we're okay. Yeah, the hardcore fans I guess the people might get oversaturated and go, I'm not going to watch it. Doesn't hurt them as much as it would for if a Marvel movie had been the one too many and bombed. Right. No, the hardcore fans to the casual fans, they were like in agreement that that they wanted like an Obi-Wan or something. No, like that. Some of those, even as a casual fan, like I said, the Lando one, I went, oh hell yeah. Like Lando, like people who hated the prequels all agreed that Ewan McGregor was a great Obi-Wan. He was the best part of it. So I've noticed that Disney approved and greenlit those specific things that were beloved, and they're testing out some new stuff for maybe for other, like the Bad Batch and cartoons like that, for other people. They're going out in like all directions, I think,
to see what's gonna work and whatnot.
Lost spaghetti at the wall right now.
Like exactly, it's all
like
spaghetti.
We're streaming now. What do you want to see?
Yeah, exactly. And after,
who wants to know what Princess Leia's second cousin did 2 weeks before the movie?
It's not gonna get that bad. It's not gonna get that bad. I hope it doesn't get that bad. But you're right. But no, that's
well, fine. Screw my pitch that I made for Disney, anyways.
Yeah,
Thanks, Chris.
There you go. Yeah, I had to shut that down so fast. But no, like moving on from Star Wars. But yeah, but the answer is I don't think I would take the chance that it won't fall on its face. If the first couple, I mean, they're already off to a good start with the Mandalorian. Yeah. Ahsoka was seemed to be well received. Everybody wanted an Obi-Wan anyway, and who doesn't love Lando? I just feel like if the first couple of series don't just fall flat on their face,
I don't think all of them will. I'm just wondering if some of those really outskirt.
Some of them definitely will. Some
I don't care.
Yeah, no, some of them definitely will fail. Like the Bad Batch might fail. Stuff like that. But
sorry, the creator of Bad Batch is watching right now.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, you should have tried harder. No, but moving on to the Marvel stuff. Let's get just to wrap the show up. And speaking about that same thing, are they saturating it too much? Is Marvel doing too much, even though they're still dominating with the genre of comic book movies? Are having too many TV shows in conjunction with what's going on in the movies? Is it too much?
Yeah.
It's possible, but when you do stuff like this, bring a Loki TV series to the table, a character that everybody loves, and he's gonna have his own series. It's hard to predict the failure of it when you know how well Hiddleston plays the character. You know how beloved he is. I just can't see it failing. Did you see the trailer that they played?
Unless it's not good, no, it should be. It should be successful. People will at least check it out, and if you've made something halfway decent, people will watch it. Did
you see the trailer to the series that's coming out? They played a trailer yesterday during the event. It was unexpected, but it looks good.
It'll be really fun.
You saw Endgame. You saw Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw how Loki was able to, when they did all the time traveling, it's like Loki technically is dead, but then when they time traveled, he made it out somehow, some way. He did it again, found a way to survive again in this damn universe. So
Loki,
he finds a way. So technically, this is the Loki from the first Avengers movie. So everything that he did after the first Avengers movie, this is not that Loki. He's on a whole new timeline, right?
We don't know him.
So this Loki is a little bit more angry and a little bit more pissed off. So I'm excited that he's tapping back into that Loki, and that's the Loki that we're going to see in this series. So it could be fun. It could be a lot of fun. This whole political thing that this picture is showing, I'm so curious about that. like what's going on there. So
I do feel like the whole kind of like Loki and Thor, I feel like that universe is so interesting and kind of never.
After we
I love Thor Ragnarok. I just feel like it was sort of always, for me at least, a little bit of this, like, I want to see more of this. This is interesting. I sometimes felt like they couldn't quite nail that down. So getting a little more time with like Loki and some of that stuff could be cool too.
After we finish this episode, I'm gonna need you to watch that trailer, because imagine Thor Ragnarok. Now incorporate a spy thriller into that movie. That's what it's a Taika Waititi, Thor, and a spy thriller. Put it in a blender. That's pretty much what feels like what we're about to see with that series. It's crazy. Yeah, I think you will get it'll make you subscribe.
Like taking some swings. I think that's my biggest thing. As long as everything kind of has its own tone, it will help fight some of that burnout of like, again, Mandalorian work, because it was like, oh, this is Star Wars, but it's kind of a Western.
Exactly.
And I think the more you can find that within these franchises,
as long as they keep doing stuff like that, because that's worked with Marvel. All of those Marvel movies were comic book movies, but they play to a different like genre. Like the Winter Soldier was a spy thriller. Ant-Man was a heist movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, a crazy comedy. You know, it was they played onto different genres, and I feel like that's what Disney's doing with these.
asterisk. I'm guessing it's not in the lineup to talk about. But literally, my personal highlight of this is just knowing that 2022 we are getting a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. Yeah,
you didn't think I was. You didn't think I was ready for you.
Yeah.
I saw when I saw that I was like, oh, Amy's gonna want to talk about that. The I Am Groot and the
I'm
holiday
not a huge
special.
Marvel person, but I adore the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. It's just
The same.
because it's just a good movie. It's like they could not be superheroes, and I'd still just like watch these characters like have wacky shenanigans to a great soundtrack.
From the characters, to the director, everybody's coming back to do this one little. You know what I think this is making fun of? I think this is making fun of the hated Star Wars. Halloween holiday special. I think that's what this is making fun of.
That's what my brain immediately went to.
I immediately went there. I'm like, they're picking on Star Wars. We're gonna do our own. It's probably going to be purposely bad, but it's going to be so bad it's going to be great.
Like, I feel like if they go cheesy, it could be super.
It's going to be
super fun.
because what is Drax? You know what? Okay, so since Star-Lord is technically from Earth, Chris Pratt's character is technically from Earth, he's probably going to try to teach them what Christmas is, and whatever Drax does after that, that's what I'm signing up for. So he comes down a chimney and he breaks into people's homes.
The comedy potential for this is
it's through the roof, man. And then the I Am Groot thing that's going to be happening with that. If they don't find a way to incorporate a dance contest between Groot and Baby Yoda, I'm going to call that a failure.
Yeah, very, very excited about these. Glad to hear. I have good news, everyone. I'm gonna at least try to, stay alive through 2022. I guess I got something to live for now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see all that stuff. Real quick, I didn't have time to put it up there, but I'll just mention it real quick. An honorable mention. They confirmed Hocus Pocus 2 is coming as well. There's going to be a Lion King prequel of some sorts.
Okay.
A sequel to Amy Adams' Enchanted called Disenchanted.
Yes. Very happy about that. Another underrated gem of the Disney canon.
She got an Oscar nomination for that, didn't she?
Did she? I remember her the songs. I think maybe one. I remember her performing the song at the Oscars.
I think she was nominated. It's just the fact that it's called Disenchanted. I imagine. Okay, let's theorize here. She's been on Earth for so long that the pressures of New York has probably gotten to her, especially after the pandemic. She's probably not singing anymore. She's lost her little Disney magic. The animals don't talk to her anymore. They just hiss or something. She's probably jaded.
If they can kind of capture any of the magic from that first one, it'll be a blast. Because, like I said, I think that first one is.
I'm thinking with a name like Disenchanted, it has to be about her. I feel like she's lost her love, and she'll find it again at the end of the movie and be like, at the end.
I'm in. It's delightful.
And Sister Act 3.
Ooh.
I wrote 2 in my notes like an idiot. Like they already made Sister Act 2. It's supposed to be.
They're just gonna do a shot-for-shot remake
of Sister Act.
Nothing.
Exactly. Lauryn Hill is back, but I remember.
Edit that. Just Baby Yoda's gonna play Whoopi Goldberg's part.
Exactly. I was watching the John Campea show, and he was saying that no one's asking for a Sister Act. I immediately thought, well, maybe not
ask for it, but we'll all watch it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I immediately was thinking about sending a comment to his channel and throwing some shade at him. Like, well, maybe not in the community you grew up in, but in my community. We've been asking for this for a long time, and I'm sure he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're probably right about that." But overall, he would something like that. He would definitely backpedal and be like, "Yeah, okay." But overall, nobody's really asking for it. Yeah, it didn't make that. It didn't make $1 billion in the box office, but
that's pretty beloved.
It's a beloved.
Like I would say that's almost cult classic at this point.
Yeah,
like it's beloved.
There's a reason why it had a sequel, and there's a reason why they're getting a third one. There are some people who love that show, and Whoopi Goldberg
the musical's not bad. Fun fact.
Yeah, and the fact that she's still working for Disney through ABC on The View, and still. Whoopi Goldberg is family. She's royalty now because she's been on multiple Disney shows. The Lion King,
and
for example.
Also played the Spirit of California when Disney's California Adventure Park first opened in a really weirdly dark movie about the history of California.
I did not know that. I'm gonna have to check.
I could just
scare
give
you?
a whole thing about things I remember from right when that theme park first opened, because we had passes and we went a lot, and it was a very weird amusement park for a very long time.
I never even heard.
Welcome to Disneyland. Time to watch some poor migrant or like immigrant workers.
Migrant workers
trying to build the train in California was an actual thing they
This is
made
a
you watch.
Disney-
And then
this
Whoopi
is-
Goldberg came in like, California. And what? I guess I'll go get a churro now. Thank you. It was weird.
Thank you, Whoopi. No, that's I'm gonna have to check that out now.
I will find the YouTube video. I'm sure it exists somewhere. It was deeply upsetting.
And I don't know if you mentioned if we talked about it before we went on this, or was it during when we talked about Moana getting a new series and Tiana series.
I feel like we're avoiding the inevitable right now, Chris.
And
I might just like turn my camera off and like go get a snack, but
what's the inevitable?
I feel like there was some. Don't pretend.
What, the Lightyear?
No. Oh well.
What
is happening with that Lightyear movie, y'all? I am.
Based on who's the voice of Buzz Lightyear? Tim is it Tim Allen?
Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Is not. Because it's not about the toy, it's about the real Buzz Lightyear, who's apparently a person now.
A real person.
I have questions. That's a whole nother episode. For the sake of time, Black Panther, Chris. Go ahead.
That's the show closer. That's what this whole thing is about. But before that, real quick, it was that's before we get into that. The one of the last things that was mentioned was Fantastic Four.
Right.
That was acquired from Fox. One of the things that came in from the Fox merger. No confirmation of whether or not our favorite family from what's the couple's name? What's that movie that where the Quiet Place? Who's the husband and wife there?
Oh, John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
Yeah. That's the couple.
Why was that so hard for my brain?
And Emily Blunt.
And Emily.
But that's who they want to play the Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. That couple. That's what fans have been asking for, and we were hoping we were going to get that announcement, but they did. They confirmed that they're working on it, but they didn't give us anything.
They just like forgot to text them. Like, oh yeah, we're
But last but not least, which is what you said, this was coming up. Black Panther 2.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to step on toes.
Yeah.
I knew it was about to get nerd sweaty.
Like, right? Yeah, there's a reason why I wore the shirt. But I was upset when I was really upset when he confirmed that they were not going to recast T'Challa. I mean, I was on the.
For someone who I feel like when we initially started having the conversations of where the franchise would go was pretty like, no, they'll make the right choice. Could be cool to put someone else up there. I was kind of bothered by. I had slowly been won over. I feel like between sort of talking it over with you and hearing honestly some of the comments from the community really had me going, yeah, there's a way to do it respectfully, but I do think having a new T'Challa is kind of important. Just
But they decided.
I was surprised by how much at this point I was like, I think that's a misstep, but okay.
A total misstep. I don't feel. I'm sorry. I'm sitting up.
You were typing. I thought you were just like quietly like seething.
No, I was. I was
okay?
double checking the. I was double checking the channel through my phone too, because I realized while we were talking with that you know what, the part that we started that glitched is still public, so I'm gonna make it unlisted, and then that way it's not just sitting there and people are wondering what happened, and then I'll put it all together.
They're dead.
They just the power went out. But No, so but going back to that, yeah. And guys, definitely chime in on it because you guys know that I'm a huge Black Panther fan on it. So I was generally taken aback. I was like, I mean, I understand that you want to honor Chadwick, but and Campy made some real good points. I mean, everything didn't grind to a halt when Stan Lee died, and he invented the character. I understand the weight of having. I mean, I even made a video on this channel about it, about how this was at the time the highest budgeted film with an all-black cast with a black director and everything. This was the first of its kind, and I was really excited about it. And every time I've discussed Black Panther, my excitement was always there. I love Chadwick Boseman, but I just wouldn't believe that a person who, especially a person who towards the end, when he knew it was the end and we didn't at all, he knew it was coming close to the end, he bust his butt to put out more work. And it wasn't just for Black Panther. He did a bunch of different shows and stories, and because he loved to tell these stories. So it should just, I mean, obviously it's not going to end. Black Panther 2 is coming out. We're going to be diving into the world of Black Panther and bringing out Black Panther 2. So the whole, what's the country called? Why am I blanking? Wakanda. The whole world of Wakanda is not coming to a halt. They're going to be going back a lot. Is kind of what I got from it. But
it became easier to me than Emily Blunt. I'm still.
It's the whole thing with them not recasting. I just feel like it's obviously they're going to probably do it in the right way and be respectful. But having someone else like a relay race, you don't just stop the race when you pass that baton. If somebody does to pass the baton to finish it, you can't finish this story, so I'll take this baton for you and I'll help you finish and win this race. That's kind of how I imagine it. But that's just me. And I'm sure that they feel like, we're damned if we do, if we're damned we don't. Now, let me get into my my whole theories and speculations on it, and probably why you guys clicked on.
You're gonna have like the Steve Kornacki board behind you. Like,
I wish Steve could help me with this.
Something.
Now, my theory is, and I don't have nothing to base this on. This is I'm probably like under 20% chance, maybe less of a chance of this happening because of how it's received. I think that they are going to digitally have Chadwick in there. They're going to have a fill-in actor and digitally put Chadwick in. They did it for the Crow when Brandon Lee died mid-production. Yeah. And that was in the 90s, and it came out perfect. It came out better than what they do sometimes today with some of these deep fakes.
Yeah, and that technology is pretty good, and I'm sure they have access to it.
Yeah. The technology, I mean, they've gotten better with the technology with the de-aging stuff over time. The more they've done it, the better it's got. The first times they did it that way was with like Tarkin on the Star Wars Rogue One movie. That gentleman who played Tarkin died, so they digitally they had an actor play the part, and they digitally put that actor's face on to that other person's face. And they did the same thing with Princess Leia. They had another actress come in, and they did the whole deep fake thing. Now that was years ago, and deep fakes have gotten a lot better over time. Yeah, over time. I believe that when they said that, it took everybody by surprise and no one knew that he was sick. Maybe that's true, but part of me believes that Chadwick probably told someone there at Disney because his family knew and his agent knew, and that's the only people he would tell. I just can't buy that.
Why would you lie about it? Because if they are you saying like you think he like recorded some stuff before he passed?
No, I know he didn't do that because they're just now they're still finishing up writing it, and they said that they were going to go with the original storyline that they've always had. I think at close to the end, I just believe this. It's probably not true that he probably did tell the executives like Kevin Feige to brace themselves for what was about to happen, and I'm hoping that maybe he gave them they gave him permission to do the whole digital thing.
They might use a little of it. I think a lot of the focus. I got to assume this means another character in that universe is going to take up the mantle of Black Panther.
I don't think I might maybe, but I hope
that's what I'm thinking. If you're if you're still calling it Black Panther 2, if you're still and you're being really clear about like we are not recasting T'Challa, I think you got to go. Who else in this universe can pick up the mantle and be that
be
hero,
Black Panther,
if not that character? I think that's my guess on like what that technicality looks like. But
people have said that they're not going to digitally put Chadwick in there. Even an exec at Disney was specifically asked that, and they said no.
I mean, they're not going to lie.
They do all the time. They because they don't want to reveal spoilers. They do. Is this actor going to be in this role? No. The girl who was cast as She-Hulk.
It made me laugh seeing her name out.
Yeah, it came out and then it was like, I don't know what you're talking about, and then boom, her name was right there again. So they do all the time. I feel like they're bracing us because it was just the way Kevin Feige said it. I think they might do
a bit of it, but I think it would be like
to pass the torch.
Yes, some way of like. However they choose to do that with T'Challa, of like if it's I don't know if you do a flashback or you do like the sort of spiritual sort of moment, whatever that looks like for them. I think they will have a pass the torch moment onto whatever character they've decided to make the new Black Panther. This is my very informed decision based on what I've just decided in my brain.
It was just the way Kevin Feige himself said it. We are not going to recast T'Challa, but he did.
I mean, it was weird that after he said it, he went wink, and they were like, "Kevin, you just said wink," and he was like, "I gotta go."
What? What are you talking about? He didn't. Is
that not what happened? I didn't watch it.
No, like no, not at all. No, he said we are not going.
He didn't say wink.
No,
okay,
not at all. I was like, wait a second, did I miss? I watched it a couple of times. I know I didn't. I would have definitely would have caught that. But no, he just specifically said we are not recasting T'Challa. But he didn't say anything else after that. He didn't say that the character is going away. He didn't say that the character is going to. Obviously, he isn't going to say nothing because it doesn't want to give away the plot too soon of what they're working on. But he just specifically said we are not going to recast. So if we're not going to recast, that technically to me means Chadwick Boseman is still the Black Panther. There's multiple ways you can take it. Either they're not going to use
I'm standing by my theory.
Either they're not going to use Black Panther at all.
They're still gonna. I mean, the movie's called Black Panther.
Exactly.
Someone's going to be Black Panther.
Exactly. But he didn't specifically say that we are taking away or replacing the T'Challa character with a new Black Panther. He said
someone else is gonna be. You can't have T'Challa. You can't deep fake.
If you're not going to use T'Challa, then yeah, I mean, it would have been okay for them to brace us for that. We're gonna have a new Black Panther, and we're not. It was just the way he said it. If you got to go back, if you just watch that part, the way he said we're working on.
I think they're passing the torch, and they didn't want to announce everything at once.
I'm gonna lean more towards Chadwick is still going to be in it by digitally putting him in.
I think a little bit, but I don't think they would deep fake a whole movie. I think that's too much, and I think honestly it would make people kind of feel weird.
I mean, it just
and by
depends.
people I mean me. Like the idea of like we're doing this entire movie having deep faked an actor who passed.
That's why I'm hoping that he gave their blessing, the blessing to do it. That's the only reason why they didn't recast Leia, is because they or do the digital thing again like they did in Rogue One. They didn't seek out or get the family her daughter's blessing for that. I have to believe
they wouldn't do it.
They're damned if they do. No matter what they do, they're gonna still get the heat from somebody. So there's a group of people that's gonna be upset about it. you should have just recast him. You shouldn't have recast him. You should have made Shuri the Black Panther. You should have made this. There's going to be a group of people that were going to be upset no matter what. I think since they've already done it before, the deep fake thing, the digitally, it's the lesser.
But it works for a scene or two. You can't. Nobody's gonna sit through a whole 2 hours of that without being like, this is kind of uncomfortable.
It depends on if they have his mask off the majority of the time and just constantly have him in scenes where he's just being T'Challa.
I truly think it would just be a little too sad for people
to see him use that
for a full 2 hour movie. Yeah. I think you can definitely, it can be a very touching tribute to use it sparingly, but an entire movie, I think it would feel, even with the family's permission, I think it would feel in poor taste in a weird way.
Yeah. There's a good number of people asking for it, but you're probably right about that. When they get what they're asking for, how long is it going to be until, like you said, that was a full 2 hour movie of watching a man who was portrayed, like I said, unless he gave them their blessing.
I don't think they're going to do it. I respectfully disagree. I think there will be a new character who takes up the mantle. Or
maybe both. Maybe the digital version, like you just said, will be the one to pass the torch on to the next Black Panther.
That is my vote.
If they speed it up and do it for I don't know. I'm hoping for that now, but maybe you're right. Maybe it would be in poor taste. Question, I guess, guys. I'm gonna let you guys decide, because I am gonna post that into the community and get your guys' opinion on that. So I'm going to be very curious on where you guys are going to land on that. But that was it. That was the whole. That's the end of my notes. That's the show closer on that. I wanted to end it off on that. I just can't wait to see what's going to happen overall moving forward.
A lot of changes.
Aren't you happy we're not going to be saying 2020 anymore? Aren't you happy about that? We're not going to be saying 2020 anymore for the rest of our lives. But I'm looking forward to all these new shows. I think it's going to be great. I'm sure some of it's going to suck, but a lot of it's going to be awesome. Oh, real quick, Black Widow. They put the gauntlet down. It is not going to streaming. It is only going to theaters. People are saying that after Warner Brothers screwed the pooch and pretty much almost killed the movie industry, that Disney has brought it back and saved it, because they went the other way. They're like, no, Black Widow is not going to streaming. It's going to theaters, and they listed a lot of their movies that some are going to do both, but most of them are going to theaters on 2021, 2022, and beyond.
It's the right call. I think as soon as you can reestablish, like, no, if it's a big enough movie, you got to go to the theater and pay to see it, is like a smart business move, just to establish, like, we have movies that are big enough that unless it is dire circumstances, which it has been for a second, but the second we're out of here, you go back to the theater and you pay just like you did.
And that announcement in the middle of it where they poached Patty Jenkins from Warner Bros. Not only did Patty Jenkins get the deal that pissed off everybody over there at Warner's, like Christopher Nolan, got compensated for her movie not going to the screen. She took that money and then took a Disney deal to make a Disney movie. Coming up.
My damn hero. You go, Patty.
I mean, Patty is just. Could you imagine now if Christopher Nolan comes out again and starts hating on Patty Jenkins, then I'm gonna be like, all right, Chris, you're doing too much, bro.
Breaking news: Christopher Nolan has formed the He-Man Patty Haters Club.
Yeah, exactly. No, ma'am. Bringing back No, ma'am from Married with Children, and hating on Patty Jenkins. I mean, Patty is all like, wow. And you know what? She's hardly said a word about any of this stuff. Just let them tire themselves out. They're gonna be mad.
Let me just sleep on my pile of money.
Yeah, before I come and just dream about this new Star Wars movie I'm gonna be making. But I mean, it's like I said, it's not that they're not upset about some serious stuff, but I get, I know you don't want to get into the whole billionaires versus the millionaires argument again, so But they are upset about some legitimate stuff. But it's just funny to me how she got the only one to get that sweet deal from Warner, and then said thanks for the cash going to Disney. Oh, Warner's probably like, damn, we should have gave that money to Chris. Oh well. Oh, that's the show, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time out for. I had to jump on this whole thing, react to the Disney Investors thing. Sorry, this was originally supposed to be a live stream, and then I had a technical difficulty issue with the stream. So that's why you might have noticed some choppiness in the middle of it. I'll try to edit all that out as best as I can. But I appreciate you, Amy, for coming out here with me and talking with me about this geek stuff.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. On
an off week, on a Friday. I know you want to get back to.
I got a hot date with the Vanessa Hudgens Christmas movie after this.
Thought you were about to say something else. I'm like, keep it PG, 13ish. All right, I'll let you guys go back to that. Appreciate you guys again. Like I said, hit the like, subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think. Put it in the box. Talk to us about all this stuff, and we might talk about it on We Got Your Mail and We Got Your Vote. I'm Chris Fagan. That's Amy Newman, and we'll see you out there on the stream world, stream universe.
It's okay, Chris.
This episode of Talking to the Medias was streamed in front of a fake studio audience of of Patty Jenkins haters.
If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video. It really does help us. Also, don't forget you can turn on notifications so you don't miss a single review, react, why is that trending, or We Got Your Mail.